Boom, boom, boom. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Will, Audra,
Hi.
Darren, Sloan,
Hey,
Morris in there. What's going on, Frank? What's going on, Will? Love what he's doing too. Hopefully,
Yeah.
everybody can hear us all right. Chime in over on the side if you guys can hear us clearly. We have a cool show this week. We're doing great, Frank. We're doing awesome. We're just chopping it up with
Hey, Nicole.
hey, what's going on? So we got Paco, Paco Miranda, and Pythons, and we're gonna bring him on this week. Talk to him about a few questions. Actually, Darren brought up a lot of topics that we're very interested to see. What's
and
his
we're gonna
take
bring him
on
on
this
this week.
week?
Talk
Talk
to
to him
him
about
about
a
a
few
few
questions.
questions.
Actually,
Actually,
Darren
Darren
brought
brought
up
up
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
topics
topics
that
that
we're
we're
very
Is
very
interested
excited
to
to
see.
see.
is
My
your
And
voice
so
is
we're
internet
gonna
getting
bring him
good?
on this week. Talk to him about a few questions.
extra high. Hey, that's what we're trying. We're trying to keep improving.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to keep improving.
Look, y'all remember when Darren was doing his videos in his car rolling down the road just to
Yeah.
Oh
say,
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
uh,
this week we're bringing Paco Miranda Pythons on. Everybody,
yes.
we're gonna talk to him about a few questions we had about some of his projects. We've been watching some of his videos on how he got started in the ball pythons. And like I said, this podcast for the most part is every 2 weeks. We're bringing it back full and strong.
Mhm.
And what we're trying to give you is some good content, hopefully, for while you're feeding and cleaning your reptiles. We all like to look at each other, see what each other's or each person or breeder getting into, no matter on a small side, big side, whatever the projects may be,
Mhm.
so we can continue to bring the community together. So, without further ado, let's bring them
Let's
right
bring
on
him
in.
on.
Hey, Paco.
Hi.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
That's nothing much, nothing much. So I guess kind of like an icebreaker to ease you into it. Why don't you take a few moments and pretty much tell us a little bit about yourself, what got you interested in ball pythons, and how'd you at least get started?
Um, well, pretty much like everyone, from a little kid, I've had reptiles all my life. I was fortunate enough to have a mother that kind of let me, you know,
Lucky.
yeah, literally, let me have pretty much anything. Started out with bearded dragons and stuff. I mean, from the moment I was like 12 years old, I remember just, trying to get as much money as I could because there was a pet store down at like local. And I remember always going in there and trying to see what reptiles he had at the time and stuff, and ended up getting like, I remember he had a bearded dragon for like $40. And
Real.
at the time when you're like 12 years old, that's a lot of money. But I think I ended up racking up about like $27 and some change, and he ended up selling it to me. But then that just started the whole passion and stuff, and ended up having a couple of things. I ended up kind of getting into pretty much like more of the high end bearded dragons, just kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar, but like whiplet zeros and stuff. And I ended up getting some hybrid bearded dragons, breeding those together. And then I always saw the ball pythons at the shows, but I never really like kind of looked into them. And then as I was going through college and stuff, it just became, because bearded dragons are daily.
Right.
Um, like you got to feed them every single day. You clean them every single day and stuff. And then, I like I said, I went to shows, and then I started seeing the ball pythons more. And I realized that that, like, I hate to kind of say it, but like the price on them was kind of crazy. You
Yeah.
see $400 and up. And it just kind of like set me on a little bit more. I started doing a little bit more research and stuff, and found out most people have like 40 and up, and they're not nearly, I mean, it's still work, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near like bearded dragons. When you get a couple babies, I mean, they can give you 30 babies, and then in another month another 30, and then another 30 in another month.
Yeah.
So I mean, it adds up pretty quick. And so I ended up just kind of slowly transitioning into the ball pythons. I still have a couple bearded dragons. I don't know if you can see them right here, but these are just pets now, man. But yeah,
Gotcha.
and, here we are. Long story short.
Gotcha. So Darren, go ahead and jump us off into the deep end of some of our questions.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so what do we go with first? Ovulation. Ovulation was one of them. Like,
Yeah, like what are my thoughts on the ovulation and stuff, like the process?
yeah, like do you really actually look for your females to start the glow before they go?
So it's funny you say that because like this is I can pretty much say this is like my first year actually breeding. So I've been collecting since 2019, so I'm pretty new to this as well. But so I only had one clutch in I think 20, and then no 21 I had my first clutch. Then last year I had two clutches, pretty spaced out and stuff. And now I'm finally starting to see some clutches, but there's a thing that Marcus Jane has online. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he kind of breaks down the whole process, and like talks about, like he said, a glow before they go. I try to look for it. And I have noticed that in one female, and that was a stranger female that actually just gave me a prelay shed, but she did get a lot brighter as well.
Yeah.
So that was the first female I really saw, like what you would say, the glow before they go. And then I want that's before the ovulation, I want to say.
Yeah,
before they ovulate. Yeah. So yeah, she did get a lot brighter and stuff. And long story short, like 2 months later, I did notice the ovulation. But yeah, it was pretty cool to finally see that. But so, I haven't really seen it in other females right now. And I work. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you mentioned stranger. I know we jumped right into the ovulation. What genes are you working with?
So primarily, I'm pretty heavy in Desert Ghost and Clown. Desert Ghost, Clown. As far as codom or just dominant genes, I love Confusion and Acid. So I'm pretty invested in that as well. That stranger female, and then two other snakes I do have that are stranger as well. That I think Confusion and Stranger by far my favorite dominant genes, at least. And then definitely just the Desert Ghost and Clown. I'm pretty heavy. Like everything I try to buy, I do try to go for like those projects as far as like being Clown Het or DG Het, so forth. Okay. So as far as recessives, that's all I have. And I did just pick up a Sentinel, so that's trying to pretty nice, man. I think they kind of look strangerish in a way as well. I don't know.
A little bit.
Got that little, and the fact that it's recessive, it's pretty neat. Just it's still a little inexpensive right now, so I figured, before someone makes something crazy, try to get something out of that.
Absolutely. How many total snakes you have in your programs?
So right now, I just have this 5540 that's completely filled right now. I'm waiting on my ARS right now to come in, and then I have about 15 more. So then about 55 snakes. Right now, but I'm maxed out. I have like 600, 700 grams in the V18s right now.
Oh,
but
wow.
So I need this rack. I've ordered it a long time ago. For some reason, it hasn't come in. So, but they're doing good, man. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You shouldn't have any problem moving those over. We actually have had issue moving, 300, 400 gram, babies over into 50-40s and 55-40s. And they'll go off food,
Really? Okay.
Got to hang in there, and it'll be a month, 2 months, 3 months, and the moment we go back in the V18, start slamming food again. Mm-hmm. So it's like we gotta, people are different breeders, and they're like, hey, listen to your snakes. So
I kind of like when I got this first 5540, I didn't have nothing, or I had the sea serpents like the V28s and stuff, but like you said, man, I just kept them up to like 600, 7 grams. Might be overkill, but man, like you said, they keep eating. And then once I transition them into that, finally, they so far have had pretty good success with that.
Yeah. That's good. That was good. Yeah, we definitely went through that. Mm-hmm. Trying to understand what's going to work and what's not going to work the best.
And Darren, what's next on the list?
You know what? Who was your inspiration in some of the projects that you got into?
Some of the projects I got into, I would definitely probably say Tom Hartman. I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure you guys know Tom Hartman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tom
the one
Harvey.
Monarch gene.
Correct. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't have any monarch, but just like coming back to just from the beginning of all this, he was actually one of the first people I came across at the shows. Like most college kids, there's you don't have a lot of money to invest and stuff or even buy anything. I remember going to these Repticon shows and you didn't have money, so you let it be known at the beginning with that breeder, and that breeder just completely kind of cut you off,
Right.
kind of talking to you. And I remember Tom Harbin, which I get, they're there to sell and stuff, but I remember Tom Harbin. I went up to him, started talking to him and stuff, and I made it known kind of at the beginning, I can't afford a snake,
Right.
but man, we literally talked for like a whole hour. After it didn't change the conversation one bit. And then I came to, know him a little bit more personally and stuff. I was fortunate enough to go to his house to pick up something one time. And I don't know, man, it was just like, I don't know if you guys knew, but he's a vet. He's been a veterinarian. So he's been doing this for 40 years pretty much. So I don't know, like I went to his house and just kind of seeing his house, beautiful house. He's got like 40 acres, just the country life. He has his facility in a barn. Yeah. He's a Christian guy. Like, man, like it just kind of set me like, I just want to be like him one day, honestly. Cause he works on animals. He like, it's not even a job to him, honestly. This is a passion. And then on the side, he gets to do all these snakes and, to me, that's kind of the ultimate goal.
Is his collection pretty big?
Yeah, I would say he's got about 300, 400 animals. But the crazy thing about Tom is he's very just, he kind of keeps everything to himself. Like he's not very on social media and stuff. So, I don't know. You don't even know what he has over there until he brings it to a show, and it's like, when did you have these? Oh, I've had these for 3 years. He just hatches out a red striped yellow belly DG clown, and I didn't even know he was working on that, and then but he's known for the monarch gene pretty much. He made
I've seen him at Tinley.
Yeah,
he's a great guy. Yeah. So him and are you familiar with Full Throttle Reptiles?
Yep.
Full Throttle Alyssa. Very good people. She's pretty much one of the people that kind of set me in on this as well. She took me from the beginning, kind of behind the scenes. I went to Daytona, got to go with them and stuff. And
you going to Daytona this year?
What's that?
You going to Daytona this year?
Oh yeah, I'll be at Daytona. I'm actually probably going to vend.
Nice.
Yeah. So kind of last minute thing. Babies are probably going to hatch, not too much, but just enough to maybe just get my feet wet and kind of go.
Right. Is this going to be your first show?
It will be my first show.
Oh, wow. That's a huge
appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll be down there with you.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Oh, you're vending as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll be in the second room.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there with Wesley Hatmaker. Do you know him?
I don't know Wesley.
And so he's Muscles and Geeks Python.
Okay, yeah. Actually,
I just picked up a double het from him.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Female,
yeah,
for DG Clown.
Him, okay, Wes, and then Chris Hernan as well.
Okay. Speaking about, when you went to your experience of people not feeling like you had any money, so they kind of didn't talk to you. It was like kind of what I went through, but it was more of, they didn't think I knew what I was talking about,
Okay.
So it was coming over there and looking at it, and then I kind of school them a little bit sometimes. Just they're judging by a book. Book cover,
and I mean, like I said, I get people where they're trying to sell, but but I mean, it's just But for example, Tom, he gave me his time of day that day. We talked and stuff, and I came back. Well, once I started working, graduated, had a little bit of money, and now I have a couple snakes from Tom because I remember that. I remember how he talked to me that day and was I was asking him questions, and he never brushed me off. He was very, very patient with me.
we feel like customer service in any business, but especially in businesses with like live animals and the price tags that you see on these live animals, like that's A1. That's a priority importance.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have good customer service and you treat your customers, whether they have pennies or whether they have stacks of money, like the same, then I mean, that's how you are supposed to treat everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't matter that
and,
someone has a ton of money or not.
Oh yeah, I was looking at your Instagram page, and I came across y'all's Crested Gecko page, and it's funny because me and my girlfriend were just talking about it, but I was like, oh man, those are those people. So you guys came to Atlanta for one of the Reptilian Nation shows.
Yep.
Well, I was approached by your son, your son. Man, I can't tell you, I haven't seen a kid so polite, so well mannered. So just, I don't know, he was like showing me everything and stuff, but he was like, you have any questions, let me know. And I can't remember what I asked him. And he was like, hey, but you were talking to somebody. He's like, hey, hold on 1 second, and then he ran over to you and stuff, trying to get your attention. But
so it's Lucas, and just really quick, list a little bit off of the reptiles, but it's very important for us as far as to surround everything around family. Which is why we push, the business, both businesses so hard. This is all we do. But that being said, as far as our future, the kids may not want to do this, when they get older. But bottom line is, we want to try to show them to the best of our ability, entrepreneurship, show them how to pretty much talk on any topic, how to deal with people, have good social skills, look people in their eyes, enunciate, be as polite and show your manners to everyone that you meet and greet. Exactly. And that's extremely important as family values. I think if you take that with you throughout life, the only thing that changed is the product. I mean, it can be your own product, your own business, your own thought, whatever it may be, but that's the only thing that will change. So that's why it's been so important.
Yeah. No, I was very impressed though.
Thank you.
Very impressed with them. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So speaking of, we do this full time. Is that something that you are doing now or looking toward doing in the future?
So I'm working. I work as a ER nurse right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm pretty busy. I work night shift. Unfortunately.
Oh man. Yeah.
What's that?
We know night shift.
Okay. Yeah. So it gets crazy sometimes, but no. So that's why, like I said, I had to transition out of the bearded dragons into this. Into the ball pythons.
Very demanding.
Very extremely.
And this kind of started out as a hobby, but then starting going to the shows, you start seeing people doing this full time. It definitely, it makes you want to potentially do this full time one day.
Right.
Right now, I'm still small. I'm still barely getting my feet wet. But I mean, if the opportunity arises, I don't see why I wouldn't want to do this.
That's what some of the programs you're working with, man. I'm watching their videos and I'm like, wow.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
That actually brought us to another question. Me and Darren was talking about is there anything about how you started that you would change? Whether it was your functionality of your setup, maybe getting racks first before getting, bigger snakes, or instead of buying all babies, get a good mixture. Is there anything that you would change from then, now knowing what you know?
I think as far as like raising the babies, I don't think so. Just because, I bought everything as a baby for the most part. Literally everything I bought as a baby from the beginning, I learn the behaviors, learn that baby goes off food, whatever, kind of get more comfortable with knowing what to do in those situations and stuff. So I wouldn't say on that part, but as far as projects and how to what to buy and so forth, I do think I would change a little bit. For example, I wanted to get into the Desert Ghost Clown project. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I bought a Desert Ghost head clown, and then I started buying Desert Ghost what is it, like combo desert ghost females, for example. Then, you know, I ended up buying a desert ghost clown to breed to those to potentially make more desert ghost clowns, and then combo desert ghost head clown, so forth.
Right.
But what I would have, like looking back at this, I should have done is I should have bought like 4 or 5 desert ghost head clown females, or 4 or 5 clown head desert ghost males. Then you buy a combo clown head DG male or a combo DG head clown male. And then when you're breeding it to those, you're making combo DG clowns.
Right.
Like right now, I'm hopefully have a shot at DG clowns. But, you know, it just depends. Everybody's goal is a little bit different. But, you know, I always try to make something that's going to kind of get me up ahead just a little bit.
Right.
Mhm.
So, you know, I could have potentially made, you know, combo DG clowns. And not only that, but if you look at it, you know, see what a 2 years ago, a year ago, a DG clown's $10,000, for example. If you would have made, so let's say I had a red stripe yellow belly desert ghost head clown and I bred it to a clown head desert ghost, and I make a red stripe yellow belly DG head clown, that's still a $10,000 animal at the time, you know. So even though it's not the double visual, but it's a combo head, it's still the same price as the visual DG clown.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so just kind of looking at that, you know, I just felt like I should have gone that route. I don't regret the way I did it, you know, because you know, I ended up buying some animals that I think are still gonna make me some combo heads. But
Right.
I don't know, just my thought. Yeah.
Darren, you got the platform. What's the next question on the agenda?
What's your plans to market your availability? Some of the
To
stuff that
market
you
my
have.
availability.
Yeah.
So pretty much going to shows, you know, like I said, this is my first show. Like before, I didn't have enough stuff to try to even go to a show.
Right.
So this year I'm looking at about 10 to 11 clutches. So it'll be my first year, really kind of my first real season, I guess I could say. So definitely do the shows. I do want to try to make more YouTube videos and stuff.
Okay.
I know I always, you know, like I feel like I've been slacking on that, to be honest.
Well, you got some fans, man. You got some fans. Definitely keep.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
With starting your YouTube, has a lot of people have reached out to you for any babies?
So far, not really, to be honest. But you know, I'm not really worried about it. You know,
Right.
it comes with time. The market right now, unfortunately, isn't the best. You know, not for everybody. You know, people are doing very well still. But personally, you know, just my collection. You know, made a couple sales, but nothing too crazy right now. But I definitely.
Did you start on?
Go ahead.
You make a morph market?
Yeah, I made a morph market. Like I said, I've sold a couple things on there, a couple local stuff, but
Right.
so far nothing too exciting.
Have you shipped your first snake out yet, or not yet?
Yeah, I've shipped a couple snakes out.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely shipped a couple snakes out.
So that's definitely a time you plug that Flawless 5 in there, get an additional $5 off your red line shirt.
Oh yeah.
Definitely next time take advantage of that. I believe you can use it twice.
Yeah.
So hey, anytime you can save more money, you can definitely jump into
That's
some
right.
more Desert Ghost Clown combos.
Yeah.
Put it back into the program.
Yeah.
So what is a combo that you don't have yet that you're looking to get into in the future?
Combo. I really like the tornado stuff. I don't know.
Everybody, all of us do.
Yeah.
Have you? So you're familiar with it?
Yeah, we're familiar with it. Darren actually put it on, put us on it as far as from Justin. And
Okay. Yeah, I went to Justin's recently. I picked up a snake, picked up a little baby, and you know, he was like, hey, you want to see something cool? Opens up the drawer. He's like, this is the first tornado in the US. And he showed me, I mean, he picked up a couple, you know, he picked up a couple visuals and then a couple double heads. And, you know, I wanted to be like, hey man, can I take a picture? But you know, I didn't want to be that person.
Right.
But
No, be that person.
cool.
Be that person. I'm gonna tell you right now, because when I went there and I seen that you also went there to pick up one of your dreamsicles that you posted up. You
Okay,
know?
yeah.
I mean, that was one of our last questions, but seeing his facility, were you amazed? Like, man, I need to kind of motivation, inspiration right there to do.
I mean, that's the goal.
What the next step?
That's the ultimate, that's the ultimate goal. Absolutely. This is, it just kind of excites me because, like I said, not only him, but just a lot of people. There's a lot of people do very well in this. And, of course, you start out, everybody started in your same footsteps.
Right.
Everybody's journey is a little different, but, everybody started the same way. So the potential to get there one day is definitely exciting. Definitely amazing. Going to this place every single time, because every drawer you open up, everything is heat. Everything is heat. There's nothing that is just like a regular snake. Everything is exciting, no matter what gene it is. Like every recessive gene he has, pretty much.
I feel like I want to call like Justin's setup like Dexter's Laboratory. Like that's his thing. Like if you've ever seen Dexter, have you ever seen like Cartoon Planet with Dexter's?
Yeah.
I feel like he's like the Dexter of ball pythons.
Yeah,
like,
you walk in and it's like a lab, literally.
Yeah.
It's like a whole lab. Everything he does, it's just crazy. Yeah.
So speaking of genes and morphs, we want to compare or talk about the value of some of the genes. You jumped in the deep end of the swimming pool. And actually Darren and I was talking about value where the cost of a snake or a program or something that you're buying into, it corrects itself and it lowers, it raises. But when you compare it, I was thinking more so like albino, which has been around since like the beginning of time, where people spend big money on albino, and now for sake of discussion, so hopefully no one attacks us, but for the most part, albino, as far as the gene to work, is worthless. But when you look at like Desert Ghost is booming, even though Audra, she hates Desert Ghost.
it's not.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody says I like it.
They're
I
like,
like
it's blasphemous.
Yeah, I like it.
No, it's
But
not. It's okay. It's just it makes me think of like just in its just regular by itself form. It's just like washed out yellow to me. And so, but I do think like adding it into other things and how it does with other things, that's a little bit more interesting. But I'm more of like, I like orange,
banana,
orange ring, banana rainbow. I'm like, he's over here talking about like monsoon this, monsoon that. I'm like, I like banana.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different.
Yeah, definitely different. So when you look at the value and how it fluctuates, there's a few things that's always stayed, I guess, consistent in our young knowledge of it, because we're doing it now. This is working on the second year. Mm-hmm. But like clown and pod, for the most part, they hold the median value of the actual single gene morph. And when you throw it in combos, it's always the two genes that are the go-to genes for a recessive to put codons.
See what it does.
So when you're looking at stuff like that, do you evaluate that before maybe introducing it into your Desert Ghost? Because I see Desert Ghost is going to end up, if it's not there yet, to be one of those genes that is the measuring tape, is the measuring bar, along with clown and pod, as far as the genes that see what things are going to do.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it's a staple at this point. Desert Ghost. Everybody's trying to work towards it.
Yeah.
I even talked to Chase while I was at Justin's that day, and he said, "Man, Desert Ghost, like this isn't going nowhere. No matter what recessive you get into, everybody is putting it into either clown or Desert Ghost, no matter what it is. Like monsoon, for example, it's a new gene. What's the first thing people will go to? It's Desert Ghost. Tornado, I mean, they're gonna put it in the Desert Ghost or clown. Like you said,
Everything's gonna hit clown.
No matter, everything's gonna go to clown, and then try to.
But you know what? Surprisingly enough, a comeback gene that was considered dead, that is alive and thriving, and thank goodness we jumped into it, and we're putting it in the combos ourselves. But hypo is back. Everyone was talking about a gray washed out snake. Hypo is back, and is right there neck and neck, maybe a few steps behind, or some people, even KG at Bomb Project, says it's actually in front of Desert Ghost, and I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm. So wasn't really a fan of hypo for the longest time. I'm like, it's
No
just
one.
in shed. It just looks like it's in shed to me personally, you know. And then I went to Daytona, and you know, Fireball, you know, they had the whole selection of everything on the table. They had a pastel chocolate DG hypo, and it was a good price. It was a good price, so I picked it up slowly because of the price.
Mhm.
And then as this snake started like growing and everything, it's got like this frosty look to it. It's hard to explain, but it's. And I was like, I could do something with this, you know. So I ended up, you know, I don't really. So when I buy a snake or try to look for a snake, I don't necessarily go like for the hypo and stuff personally. But if it has it, that's a plus for sure.
Right.
But yeah, definitely, I think it definitely made a comeback again. You know, the hypo DG clown. I mean, that's a $25,000 snake.
Oh yeah, easy.
Easy. $25K for a hypo DG clown. So, oh yeah. But no, like you said, I think Desert Ghost is definitely a staple now. Even if the price, so what's a female go for right now? Like just a baby, maybe 800, 1,000.
I think maybe about 6, 7, about 6, 7.
Seven.
Single gene hypo?
No, just a DG female, just a
DG. Yeah, they dropped. I seen them low for 400 back in the day before COVID. BC,
before it blew up.
After that, and then it blew up.
Yeah, once it blew up and stuff. But then again, how long has clown been around? You know, clown's been around since the early 2000s. You know, and I mean, like you said, you combine clown and pied. That's still a. Right now, it did drop a little bit, but that's still a $2,000 snake.
So this is the theory. You have to move with the market. No matter what programs you're working with, you have to move with the market. You got to work on your codoms, in with your recessive, multi-recessives, introducing the codoms, because if you don't move and you stay stagnant, the market itself is going to absorb it. So where you have a clown pie, you know, no codoms in it, and it may have been a $3,000, $4,000 snake. If you're still producing clown pies with no codoms, you know, 1 and 2 years later, it's not going to be $3,000 and $4,000. It's going to be $2,000, like it is now. You start mixing in some codoms, them inexpensive codoms, Inchy, Leopard, whatever it may be, it's going to give you a step above the rest. So it's just a game where you just got to constantly at least be moving forward. You know, wherever you make $1, you know, make sure you're sitting there putting 20 cents back into your program. Yeah.
And say like you said, it goes for a clown pie of $2,000. You add OD and YB, I just bumped it up to 5 or 6 right there.
Easy. Absolutely.
Easy as that.
That's so crazy to me. That's still crazy to me. Like just those 2 genes just changed that much.
It has to. There's so much work involved.
What's that?
It's so much work involved. You know, you gotta have, you know, orange dream, yellow belly, or one of them on each side, and for them to be the visual pod or the visual client. It's so much.
Hit the odds, just hit the odds itself. You know, it's crazy. What's that?
Go ahead. Once you make the double visual, that's it. You gotta just keep going. You know.
But then that's where it gets harder too, because now when you do bite the bullet and you buy the $2,000, you know, clown pie, either you're gonna, you know, go out and get clown pies, or, you know, hats, you know, visual hat, but you got to introduce the codoms. So they're going to be expensive no matter what way you look at it.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, I think any recessive double visuals, you know, it's always going to be a good project to get into no matter what.
And what about them quads and them triple? We're working on a few quad projects as well, and a couple triples. Are you working any of the triples now with the hypo DG and?
Yeah, so I'm really going pretty much for the, you know, DG clown pied and stuff right now. Okay. So I'm doing it a little different. So like, for example, I have a pastel ODYB banana het clown, and I didn't want to waste that female. So I had a pastel phantom blackhead clown. I didn't want to breed those together because I don't like the pastel phantom blackhead clowns. You know, everyone's different, but I'm not too much of a fan on the pastel, especially with clown.
Yeah.
So,
Me
so
Nobody
So-
does.
He's not a pastel fan. That's for
we
sure.
have pastel, but it's one of them where we try our hardest to not have it in our males.
yes,
And,
correct.
if it's a female, it's a killer female, we'll take it, but we try not to have it.
So I do like it in pastel, like DG Pied.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it in DG Pied, but pretty much what I did. So for example, that's a banana combo het clown. I ended up breeding that to a OD leopard pied het DG.
Oh, wow.
So therefore, everything will be 100% het pied, and then there'll be 50% pos het clown on the DG and clown. And now with the genetic testing, we can just send those sheds out and keep back the triple visual and hopefully be combo. OD
Now,
will be. Go ahead.
You seen somebody have DG?
I'm sorry.
You seen somebody have it for DG?
DG testing.
Well,
Yeah.
So I think they're still working on it. It's still in progress right now.
Some people have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some people have it.
Okay. I haven't like sent anything out, so I'm not up to date with what's going on with that.
Yeah.
I just know there's a test coming.
There's more testing services that are popping up. Like
wow.
Actually one up in, I want to say it's New York.
He's cheaper.
Morris, he's quite a bit cheaper. And he's testing for ultramel as well.
Okay.
Been out there big yet, but that's definitely a route we're going. We got a ton of sheds to send out for multiple different testing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to test the whole clutch. All those females, if they're triple head, they're all staying regardless. They're all staying, and like you said, like we were talking about with the double visual, trying to get those codoms in there is gonna take forever. So
and I think it's going to be key for all breeders moving forward, honestly, because like you said, a clutch, a breeding like that, like you said, you're going to test the whole clutch. You're going to keep your females, and that makes sense. But it makes sense to test the males too, because if you know for sure that it's het in those type of combos, you may be adding a couple $1,000s to an actual potential, male sale. So, I mean, it only makes sense to spend the $40, $50, or even $75 or whatever per snake to test that.
And I mean, you make a clown, and so it'd be, let's say, a clown or 100% het clown, and then it's double het for DG and pied, but it doesn't prove out for pied, but it's het for DG. That's still a clown het DG, still a clown het DG that you could hold back or potentially sell and stuff. But here moving forward, I'm really trying to hold back a lot of triple het stuff right now. Just to kind of set myself up for the future.
I guess depending upon results of your sales this year, let's say you move 80% of your inventory, which is an amazing year to have. And what will you be having your eyes open and looking for moving forward for next year?
Definitely a DG clown pied.
DG clown pied.
Yeah, try to.
Nice.
That's gonna be. Like I said, that's the route I'm really going to. By then, hopefully someone will hatch them out. I know these guys in Europe aren't playing with that. There's a lot of people working towards that, so I'm sure hopefully someone will have some available to try to move towards that project a little.
I think any of the triples like that is going to fluctuate big time. Like even if it's a $25,000, $30,000, let's say $30,000 snake, you may see yellow belly DG clown pied, it may be $8,000 more just to add a codon.
Yeah,
because it's just that hard. Yeah.
So what do you think a DG clown pied will go for if a hypo DG clown's 25?
In the market right now, I'd probably say the same price.
Same price? Okay.
Yeah, same price. If this was 6 months ago or in the middle of the boom, easy, probably 30, easy.
Okay. But then a sunset clown is 60 or 50.
But did they move it yet?
No, as of right now, maybe not yet. But but they've sold at Tinley for 60.
Oh, wow.
And 50. Yeah, Mike Wilbank sold one for 60,000 at the Tinley show. So
I guess it depends.
Just at the time, huh?
Yeah, it depends on and who needs it, and that goes back to the value. I keep saying me and Darren we talk so much.
Oh my goodness.
But we talk about value because
This
it's
is the
important.
brilliance.
It's important.
It could be somebody else. It could be somebody else.
I'm completely okay with it. I love Darren. I feel like Darren's my brother now.
So the DG Plan 5, for example, if you see that and it's there for 30 grand, you may have 100 people come by and say, wow, that's a beautiful snake. There's no way I'm buying that. No way I'm spending that much money for it. But given the right situation, that's this exact snake that you need and it's available and you see it, you're snatching it up immediately. We've had similar situations with the same exact issue. It's like, so you can't really look at each snake like, oh, that's way too much money, because there's a buyer out there for every single snake. And depending on the situation, if it's something they need, they're going to jump on it. You know, it's just how it is. It's time versus money. You know, it's one of them things where you buy a baby at a certain price. If a baby with whatever genes is $1,000 and you're so far along and you had some mishaps happen in your collection and somebody is selling that same exact gene female ready to breed, somebody may pay $3 grand for that snake, especially if they got a male and a rack ready to roll.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah. And it's like kind of how Ozzy sees it, you know, he doesn't really look at what the snake is worth, but like what it could produce.
Right.
Pretty much, you know, what the potential of that snake is, you know, because like you said, you're not just going to breed it to one snake. You're going to breed it to multiple snakes and stuff. And, you know, you'll make your money back.
Yeah. And it depends on the breeder too, especially with Ozzy. We watch him as well. We're on his Patreon, and he's extremely smart, man, and been doing this for years. And it's like he has, you know, he makes his upgrades, he keeps his stuff that he's going to keep. And typically you never really see it because that stuff is never made available. Oh, hey, that's a whole bag. I'm stepping up from this, that, and the third. And then he knows the power of females. If you notice that, hey, if he's not getting what he wants to get for a female, just go in the rack. You know, you can figure some things out with males that he knows he's never going to use. But females at the caliber of what he's producing, it's easier to buy another rack. So
that OD Leopard Pied head DG, it came from him actually, and I remember. So at the time, so like for example, Pied head Desert Ghost male was running about $1,500, $2,000, and it had OD and Leopard, and he had it at $5,500. You know, and that's pretty high. You know, that's pretty high for just adding those two genes. You know, and he had it up there for a little while. So I asked him, you know, if, you know, he'd come down on price a little bit, you know, cut me a little deal. And his response was, I think it's priced too cheap.
That sounds like Ozzy.
But like you said, it was the perfect animal for what I needed at the time.
Right.
You know, and like literally I ended up picking him up because he had good size and I had a female almost ready and stuff. Yeah. And, you know, like you said, you know, hopefully, you know, it's going to give me some nice babies and stuff. And he's been a rock star so far. So I can't complain, you know.
Yeah. But then you also got to think about that. What happens if he happens to pop out another one? Let's say that one, let's say 700 grams. Male, and he pops out another one. So essentially, do you think he's gonna be lighter on the price on the baby or on the breeder almost ready to breed male?
Yeah.
Lighter on the price on that baby.
Yeah.
It's just one of them things, like literally you're buying an animal to plug into your project pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
How big was that animal when you picked it up from him?
I got it. It was about 400 grams. Like I said, it had some size, you know, and you know, it was a nice animal. It's very, very high patterned and stuff. So I'm not complaining one bit. You know?
I think everybody got their Ozzy stories. We got our rock star. He's finally taking off, man.
Yeah.
I honestly think, I mean, they hear this a lot, like people who watch our videos, like, oh, this is my new favorite snake. Like, this is my favorite. I always have a new favorite. But honestly, I think him and then that little posset that we hatched out, the banana posset monsoon pod, those two are like my absolute favorites. But the Aussie boy that we have, he is just like
Yeah, and that was another jam pack. That breaks
It's like
the bank.
7 different
It was
genetic.
orange stream, super inchy, leopard, hypo, pod, 66%
het ultra male. I always know it's 66% het ultra male.
that one hurt. That one.
Will sell a heat? Yeah, no, that's true. Because I've done the same thing for my heads are going more than the visual, definitely.
More than the heads.
Yeah.
Weirdo, yeah, definitely. But
stuff's combos in there.
Yeah. It's I've watched him really from 2013. He's always had DG and Xanthic together. Realize that. And the value just go like this. It just keep going up every year after year. So he's been making money off of that for how long? 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years off of just that combo.
Mm-hmm.
And look at what he's taking it, and think about what he has in his holdback racks and what he's coming. He's still staying ahead of the curve, and I think that's a good business plan, definitely to have as far as to keep moving forward.
Yeah, he just keeps upgrading every year. Keep moving stuff out and upgrading, and
With that being said, so say if you didn't hit on your odds, right, of what you wanted to produce, did you sell all the babies and buy what you need? Yeah, pretty much. I had to learn that. I'll tell you, I came in, it was just Codons. Codons Extreme, that's all everybody was breeding. And it came down to, there were so many different Codons in there, it was just mud after a while. So you had to really change. And this is where
Paco, how old are you, Paco?
I just turned 28 last week.
Now, excuse Darren. He got in, it was 1965.
Hey, wait, hold up. Nah. So look at this. Sloan reptiles, right? Besides Sloan reptiles, those guys were kids when they got in. They've already created 2 different genes and they were in before me, but they remember who I was from just that, and I bought something when I first got in, it was a banana, which cost me about almost $2,000 at that time, so think about that. It's not, I'm not old, man. Will, you right there. He in the 40-40 club. Remember that, Will? Remember that. That's all right. You're in denial right now. It's okay.
But that's good, Paco, that you got that mindset, though, because it seems like
did you see how he changed the subject real quick?
He's good. Changed the subject. Once he got attacked, huh?
Yeah. He can dish it. He can dish it all day long, but he cannot take it.
Check it out. He has a video. Watch him bend over. He bends over like an old man. Watch it. I'm like, them knees ain't like they used to be. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find that video too. I may be low to the ground. It's all right, but
hey man, he looks like he'd just pick us up one hand.
He like could, but it's all right. It's all right.
Our legs would be dangling.
Oh my god!
Oh.
But he's wearing my nephew's size shirt right now, but it's cool.
See, I got to deal with this all the time. It's all messed up.
Where are you guys at?
We're in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay, Spartanburg.
I'm in California.
We're down in actually in Georgia quite often. Actually, we've been down to Bob's about 6 or 7 times.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah.
We go down actually see. We've seen Tony from Hardwire. Business with Tony. Haven't made it out to Justin's yet. That's gonna be some plans to go out there. We hang out with Josh Jackie a lot. Up all Python Shed. All those guys are really good guys.
They're just all awesome.
They'll all be down there in Daytona as well.
Yep. Always go down.
Yeah, blast down there. Are you doing Tinley at all?
As far as vending.
It's hard.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know about that.
Good luck with that.
It's tough.
Yeah, I always try to make it out to Tinley. Definitely try to make it out. Tinley and stuff. I missed this past Tinley, but but I'm definitely should be going to this next one. I'm excited.
We'll be there forevermore now. We finally got our spot with our crested geckos. So forevermore.
Right. And for the most part, that's what we've been with is crested geckos. We're kind of doing the same kind of business plan, mirroring Flawless Crested Geckos with Flawless Exotic Creations. So we're taking that type of approach because it's expensive.
It's
expensive. But How many which racks from ARS and how many levels do you have on order right now?
I have just the 5540 right now,
Okay.
and it's the 10 level. I actually could add a little bit higher, maybe one more level. I don't know, maybe two.
Okay.
But then like right here, I'm maxed out on this wall right here, but I still have this side over here. I can put another rack and stuff. But after that, I don't know. It's gonna be kind of tight. I do have like out here in the like right out this door. There's like a car garage. And I'll probably end up just shutting all that down and insulating it and just.
That's Darren did a whole custom area. Even though you see the racks behind him, see he's standing up, and there's only like 8 levels. So but he kept his story. He can go a few levels higher.
Yeah,
I can go because they're 11 high. I could go 12, possibly 13. But man, the height challenge is right there. So I got to get that 8-foot ladder. So I'm like, I don't want to be opening tubs and a female just come out at me. I'm
agree.
good. I got to be able to see. I got to be able to see. Good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Yeah. I got a bucket here I got to stand on too.
Oh my God.
We invested in ladders.
And yeah, I told you because that was my other thing. I said, Darren, you got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into snakes, and you're trying to. Paco too, standing on a doggone bucket. Go buy the doggone step stools. He said we got to save that snake money by any means necessary.
Any means.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you breeding your own rodents?
Yeah. I breed my own rodents here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how are you doing it? What's your setup for your colony?
I just use the wooden racks. Right now, and for a while, so I experienced for the first time what it's like to not have rats for a little while, just because I wasn't rotating the females out, and I let them all just get really old. And for a while, I ended up just having nothing to feed them off for the week.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was trying to find, just extra resources and stuff, just see where I was having to drive 2.5 hours every week to go get them. I tell you, I don't ever want to be in that situation again because it was terrible. Yeah.
Did you start off breeding your own rats from the beginning?
Yeah. So I did start out breeding my rats, and at first I was having just way too many because I only had like 7 snakes. So I was breeding way too many rats, and having to sell off a little bit or giving them over to Alyssa. She always takes.
You should have plenty of people out by you that's willing to take them off.
Yeah, in Georgia.
Yeah. So I haven't. So just now, recently, like I said, I went through that little drought, and it just upset me because everybody was charging me like $5 a rat. And everybody's just hustling everyone, man. And I'm just like, look, I'm about to breed so many rats, and I'm gonna, once I get so many, I'm just going $2, $2.
Cut them all off. All off. Yeah.
How many tubs you running?
Just a 6 level. Well, actually, so I have 2 wooden ones, just 7 levels, and then like another 2. And then I bought it's one of the mice racks for so I breed a couple mice as well. It's like those so I had a friend here that makes like the ARS ones. It's pretty much the same exact thing. So it's like I think like 8 levels.
Oh wow.
And it's like the double metal one. So I have that in there as well. So far, like fingers crossed, everything's been going well as far as rats, because I tell you that was rough.
I've been through the same thing. So this year was the first year I really actually started breeding rats, but I was so against it. I didn't want to have rats, but picking up every week, going through that problem. But once COVID hit, it started getting worse.
No. Tell them your sketchy stories first, because meet me over here in the back of the parking lot with
at 2 a.m. At 2 a.m.
No, hey, serious. I know. You're meeting a rat breeder, and it's like you're picking up dope, but you ain't picking up dope. You're picking up rats for real. People probably thinking what you're doing, you're back in the corner, waiting for that person to show up, popping their trunk, getting ready to switch tubs out. Hey, here you go, and giving somebody cash. Like, I mean, anybody could come up and think, "What are you doing? You're selling dope." No, I'm picking up rats. You know what I'm saying? Like rats.
But you're welcome to see.
No, but when you're really meeting somebody to do that, it's kind of like inconvenience. You got to be on their schedule, not your schedule. Okay, here, meet me at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock at this time, or you show up, you're waiting an hour or so, walking around the car, getting out, using the bathroom. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no,
bring your own is everything.
Yeah, no, yeah, like you said, I'm just thinking of sketchy stories I went through as well during that little time.
Let's hear them. Go ahead.
What's your worst one? What's your worst story that you had to go through buying rats?
Well, I mean, just going pretty far out, honestly, and like.
And what city are you in Georgia?
What's that?
What city are you in?
I'm in Rome, Georgia.
Rome.
So it's like about an hour and a half north of Atlanta. But so I don't.
Okay.
Is that near Athens?
No. So I'm about 2.5 hours from Athens.
Oh.
I'm more east of Athens.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I just remember like I went up to this guy's house, and pull up to this trailer park. And I'm thinking this guy probably has, like a little shed for him where he brings me inside. I mean, it just cigarettes mixed in with ammonia. And they're baking chicken in the oven, and I mean they had it like they had it in there like right next to their table where they eat, their little like wooden racks and stuff, man. It was bad, I'm telling you. It was just no way I could ever live like that, but but I needed them.
He's like, I need your rats, but I don't care how you living.
Yeah, man,
I've been there, man. I've gone to, because some rat bidders, they're on the borderline of what kind of drugs you do. So those guys even feed dog food. I'm telling you, when they feed dog food, the rats look different and the ears looked all frayed and chewed. I've gone through that. Versus my rats now, feeding them and taking care of myself, they're like nice and fat and chunky as babies. It's totally different. So you got to think about what you're feeding your animals too. Yeah. At the time, I'm like, I didn't want to stand the smell and breed them myself, but it is so much better.
Once you get in there, you get in the groove of just cleaning them and stuff. It's really not too bad, kind of enjoy them, in a way. I don't know if that's crazy, but it's just kind of therapeutic in a way.
It is, because sometimes you look at some of the babies, you're like, oh, that one looks so cute, man. I can't feed you off.
Here you go.
I'm like, you get to stay as a breeder. Hey, you're gonna have a lot of breeders. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that's how she does.
I have a Stewart.
Stewart, what kind do you breed?
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't even tell you the names of them, like what morphs or whatever.
Norwegian, probably the typical.
Yeah, the Norwegians. That's what I meant. Yeah, but I like the color phases. So I got a clue, man.
Okay, so I got these Siamese that the way they look and the way they built are totally different. Now, what I have noticed is that they have less baby than the Norwegian.
Oh, wow.
They do, for some reason. I've noticed that. Like, it's not as much, but they get bigger and thicker.
Interesting. Yeah.
Huh.
And those are what? Siamese?
Yeah, Siamese. Like the Siamese cat.
Yeah,
That's exactly how they look too, with that little brown nose. But you can get them in other colors, but you can see the structure, and the jaw structure is different.
Yeah.
Too.
For a while, like when I was desperate looking for rats, I was getting on Facebook trying to figure out like groups and stuff on Facebook and stuff, and I came across this rat page. And I'm over here asking for like feeders and stuff, and then they're like posting pictures of them like taking them to the vet and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, wait, this is like a pet rat page,
Right.
Like, and I'm over here looking for feeders.
Oh, you were going to get bashed.
Yeah. They're like, no, we don't have them for that.
No,
let them hang out, sit on the couch, and hang out with them on the couch and pet and run all over their shoulders. Yeah, those.
So since you're in Rome, what major breeders are near you? Because I know you got Bob out there, you got Hardwired out there, you got Canova out there.
Yeah, that's Alyssa's in Tennessee. She's about an hour and 40 from me.
Okay.
Alyssa. Tom Harbin's about 2.5 hours from me. Who else? Let's see. There's a big Georgia group here. So I know like for a while before the Reptilian Nation show, the Repticons here were crazy in Atlanta.
Really?
Like it was a Repticon, but like I was like back in the day when I first started going to before I even like knew anybody and stuff, like this was the show to be at for sure for a Repticon. It was a little like kind of cliquey, to be honest, but there are a lot of good people. Do you know Dreamweaver Reptiles?
Yeah.
Dreamweaver, Michael Weaver. You already said Tony. There are a lot of, oh gosh, who else? Eric Soto. Do you know him?
I don't know.
I've heard Eric Soto's name.
Yeah. But pretty much a lot of them transition into the Reptilian Nation shows as well.
Yeah.
But it's a good group out here for sure.
Have you had the opportunity to chop it up with Garrett DeMeyer yet?
I've never talked to him actually. You were talking about your experience. That's one guy I had an amazing experience with. I purchased from him. We purchased, I think, 2 snakes from him, I believe, via the internet. Via Morph Market, and actually we vended several shows together. And go up to his table, take pictures with him. And he's one of those people that he would literally. Just talk to. Oh, wait. Hold on 1 second. Let me go help this couple. Don't leave. He'll run off and come back. And he just loves to conversate about his career profession. That's cool. Very cool.
And I think that's another thing. I think people that's trying to get into this, or at least trying to get going, you got to have a passion for what you're doing. You got to pay the bills, but you still have to have a passion for what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think that can come off abrupt or rash when you don't at least engage with people that walk up, take the time to greet you or walk up to your table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like unfortunately, a lot of people get judged just based on appearance,
Absolutely.
But man, I used to work as a server, and I learned I never really judged anybody, but you'd be surprised who tips you very well compared to, the people who come in, the Sunday crowd and stuff. You're thinking they're, well dressed and stuff. They always probably not the best tippers. And then somebody you didn't really expect something ends up, tipping you really amazing. But same thing, man. Just can't judge anybody based on their appearance and stuff.
So go ahead, Darren.
Being in this, have you ever really felt burnt out and tired over it? You have a passion for it.
No, this is strictly passion, man. I can't say I've been burnt out. I mean, if I'm getting burnt out already, I might as well just go ahead and get out, because I haven't really had too many clutches. I haven't had a season. We're just now. It's pretty. So my girlfriend is the one that pretty much handles everything. She's the one that does the water changes. She actually, like yesterday, for example, I got home in the morning. I sleep in during the day, and then I wake up. So I have yesterday and today off, and then I go back tomorrow, back to work. And man, she did all the rats, did the waters, and I'm just like, because I tell her, definitely, I owe it to her, because she's been so much help behind the scenes. But but I wouldn't say I'm burnt out right now. I definitely want to keep growing right now and just see where it leads to.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep telling him when we get in our little rodent racks, because I'm all for that. I can deal with the
especially
rats.
she sees the rodent bill every week. She's like, when we get in this rat started.
Wait. Will, you can't do it?
Huh? What'd you say?
You don't want to.
Your connection is a little fuzzy.
See, I told you he cannot take it. He cannot take it.
So you guys don't breed rats?
No, we
Because
buy.
he absolutely refuses to pick them up. He'll get his little tweezers out and picks them up by the tail.
See, we worked it into the budget though. It was in the game plan for the year.
Yeah.
So
now
we are chopping away a little bit, with her rodent production. It's gonna be Audra's
rodent production. Hey, you know what? What's gonna happen is that you're only gonna be able to feed these ones off, because I don't think these ones are.
No, she's just gonna find some missing. They just gonna be going.
As long as he doesn't screw with Stuart, we're good. Leave Stuart out of this.
Stuart looked a little chunky.
Nope.
Stuart's huge.
You can't put Stuart in the breeding program, because I'm telling you, if he's a male, those males will breed themselves to death. That's
Really?
it.
No.
Wow.
Stuart's a pet. Stuart's
Once you name them, man, it's over.
It's over.
Once you name them, they're fam now.
Forever.
So,
Forever.
how many males, real quick, and we'll get off the rodents, but how are you running your tubs? Are they 1 to 3, 1 to 4, males to females?
I just do 1 to 5, 1 male to 5
Oh, wow.
females. Yeah, it does get a little overcrowded sometimes, you know, but I've had good success with it.
What
so
size
far.
are you doing those washout tubs? Are you doing those black washout tubs? Are you doing like Freedom Breeder tubs? Or
It's like those concrete tubs from Lowe's.
Yeah.
I just use that. Yeah, I just
Have you had any chew outs or anything like that, or?
So for a while I was having chew outs, but then I just ended up, so like there's like a little hole right in the middle.
Yep.
Where then that's usually where all they need is a little hole and they'll start chewing out. And I ended up just putting like a little bit of 1x4 screen, and that's all. I haven't had any chew outs since. Yeah.
So with those tubs, it was cheaper for me to order them from Freedom Breeder than to get them at the store, because they went up in price during COVID so high that I could buy Freedom Breeders, have it shipped to me, than me go inside
My goodness.
Home Depot and picking those up. Yep.
Yeah.
So I went with Freedom Breeder.
It's just bad because that those racks are already at one dimension, so not every rack is gonna, or not every tub's gonna fit in there.
Right.
So I have like 20 extra tubs in case they chew out.
Yeah. That's gonna be the plan when we get started. We got extra tubs now because we have we actually bought the first generation 5040 series rack, and I think when we do our next order or whatever, I'm gonna see if he still has those. He had put them on sale, marked them down, but we love those racks. And we don't actually have any 70 series racks, and ours are loving the 55. is much bigger than the 50 series. But as far as, they're not loving the big space. Even some of our bigger girls, they kind of just hunk in one spot. They don't really move around. They like the tighter spaces. I guess we're just getting that experience of going through that phase here now. But it's been over a year, and we were thinking we was going to have to get a stack of 70 series or something, because we got a few girls that's over 3,000 grams.
Big mamas.
We just haven't had any issues with them. Actually, we got one girl that's laying right now. So I got to go for that clutch. She's been laying today.
The big mama?
No, not her yet. The other pod girl. But it's amazing to see the transformation of what you learn by being hands-on and just from watching everybody else.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. For a while, like, so for a while there was like a point where I wasn't feeling like I was doing anything, like, because like I said, I bought everything as babies, and that whole 2-3 years of not seeing anything coming back, or no return, or like no eggs and stuff, it gets a little bit frustrating, once you see that you put money and time into this and stuff, and just not seeing any results. Right. And then like not out of jealousy, but you see how well other people are doing, and it's just like, dang, I wish I could, have that. And so I'm fortunate.
That time period, like, it's all timing. That's all it is. It's like just putting in your time.
Time and money.
Money. Yeah. I started off just like you. I bought babies, but at that time when I started, it was a big I don't know if it was kind of like a scarcity act but you didn't want to buy breeders from people, because so many people were doing people wrong, where you would get females that just don't lay or whatever, any kind of issue. But now that stigmatism is off. It's nobody really believes that anymore.
Right. Yeah. I try not to buy breeders for that reason. There's a reason they're selling it. For the most, not always, but a lot of times, like you said, there's a reason they're selling it as a breeder.
So that's kind of reason why you started off with babies and worked your way up?
I did it pretty much just to learn their behavior and stuff. And I said, just get a better understanding of them. And
now I guess because you your girlfriend kind of helps you a lot. So I wonder if she notices the glow, because as they get older, you'll see them at a younger age start really actually having that glow, being 600-700 grams, not even being full mature.
Yeah, and like she's been kind of keeping me up to date, like while I'm at work and stuff. She'll be sending me pictures, and like last time she told me, oh, I think this one ovulated, and she sent me a picture. I'm like, nah, I didn't ovulate. Now it's in pre-lay shed right now.
Like,
oh, so she was right.
She was right.
Oh.
Yeah, she was right.
It's in pre-lay shed right now, but she's definitely gotten better. Been better at like learning those signs, and she can tell pretty much when a female's building and stuff. They'll be on the cool side, wrapping around.
Now,
and stuff.
You use an ultrasound, don't you?
I do have an ultrasound, and
Darren's anti-ultrasound.
man, get an
I'm trying
ultrasound.
to get him on the train. I'm trying to tell him.
You have to get.
It's just something nice to have. It's a tool nice to have.
So for example, like that leopard stranger female that I bought, I was ultrasounding her, and I started pairing her at 10 to like 12 millimeter follicles, and that was, I can even tell you, like back in September last year, she was 11 millimeter follicles. And I kept pairing her to my DG clown. And, like the reason we get an ultrasound is to preserve our male. Yeah. Preserve our male and make sure those locks are going, when they're ovulating and stuff, or building. And I kept pairing her, and she stayed from 10 to 15 millimeter follicles for 6 months. Wow. So for that long period of time, she didn't build, and I'm just throwing my male in with her. And she ended up getting 5 locks out of my DG clown. And for example, my DG clown right now is in there with a female that I really want to go, and he's not breeding no more.
Okay, but pairing him that many times, right?
Yeah, but because I really wanted that clutch to go, because I wasn't seeing that follicle development like I wanted to. Yeah. So then I was talking. Go ahead. Sorry.
When you kind of pair a little bit less until you start really seeing a female grow a little bit. Have you palpated before?
No, I haven't palpated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because what I do is I always breed before I get them to start to go.
Okay.
So even if they're not building follicles, I'll pair them anyways. Mm-hmm. And I'll wait. Because you got to think they retain semen for 2 years, right?
Yeah, they could stay for a while.
So I'll just wait and watch the female and slowly start palpating, and feeling and looking and watching her.
Okay. Yeah, but see but I didn't breed her 5 times before she started building. Like I bred her like 2 or 3 times. And then once I started seeing her go up to like 15 or 20, I bred her a couple more times. So it was a total of 5 locks throughout, that brief period of time. But I was talking to Tom Harmon, and he says that he doesn't breed until 15 millimeter follicles, because he said that they can stay between 10 to 15 for like 6 months, which is what I experienced. And then, for example, I had that banana female just laid for me. She was at 15. I bred her, and within a month, she went up to 30 millimeter follicles. So he says after 15, you're gonna most likely get something. Mm-hmm. It's easier for them to build after 15 millimeter follicles. So I think that's probably what I'm gonna do going on here forward. Just try to preserve the male a little better.
Right. So when are you stopping? What follicle size are you stop pairing?
I stopped at 30 personally.
At 30.
Yeah, I know some people go a little bit after that and stuff, but so far I just stop at 30. Yeah, I try to get 2 locks in, right at like 15, and then if I can catch them in like a month in the 20s, and I'll throw in another lock and just call it that. And,
have you had a female where you start seeing them build and then they just stop?
Yeah. I've noticed that they'll just go off feed. They'll be slamming rats, and then out of nowhere they'll just stop. And then once you start checking the ultrasound, I'm not very good at telling, but the follicles start to gray out a bit, and that's when you can tell that they reabsorbed.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I have experienced that a couple of times with some females.
They talked about that at Justin's.
What's that?
The ultrasound actually shows you that having the ultrasound teaches you, hey, I did this during this period. Now I know what not to do as well. So I love having the ultrasound.
Oh yeah, I check it, and for a while, like I've been checking weekly, and I mean you get some jumps in a week. That's what I've noticed so far. And I just write it down on the tub on a piece of paper and stuff just to see what they were at this month and then so forth. But yeah, it's been fun just finally seeing that whole experience and stuff and getting more familiar with it.
And how many babies you got on the ground now?
So, like from previous clutches?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have about five or six.
Okay.
Yeah, and just a couple things I'm growing up for myself.
And you're expecting to have, hopefully, cross fingers, how many this year?
About 10 clutches.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm the female just laid today, so that's my fourth clutch. Nice. And then I have, thank you, yeah. And then just a couple more things coming, hopefully this year, later on.
And you said
what's the one that laid? Oh, sorry.
So that was actually my first snake, Super Pastel Het Clown.
Super pastel. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Hey,
Super pastel.
You gotta remember, pastel's an OG gene.
Yeah, man. Trust me, it wasn't.
There's a lot out there.
But I just wanted a snake, and I bought it, and then
at least with that clown, so you could at least make something with her.
Oh, I didn't breed it to the clown, the DG clown.
Oh no,
no. I don't like.
What'd you breed it to?
The OD leopard pied head DG.
Okay.
So
I had DG, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, hopefully, keep back some that are pos het or prove out for the het DG and het clown. They're all 100% het pied and I mean everything's pastel. Yeah.
Been there. I've been
and
there.
So you have 86 total in tubs now. So what's your rodent production like? Like how many rodents roughly, if a guesstimation, do you have?
Gosh, I couldn't even tell you really. I just know I'm feeding off enough right now, and I have a little bit extra to sell out.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I have a little bit off, but once these babies start coming and stuff, we'll have to reevaluate that.
Okay.
Add more.
Add more and stuff. Because like I said, I don't want to go through that again. That was tough. Having to depend on somebody else and everybody just upcharging you and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, $5 for a rat, and gets expensive.
$600 a week. I've been there.
Yeah, man. Killing it.
Watch that price just go up because
we're not trying to get there.
Yeah, I was doing feeding every 2 weeks for a while because I had to. Like working night shift, having to drive 2.5 hours somewhere to grab something. Like that's a whole day, really.
Hopefully they're ready
because you get there, you pick them up, then traffic back, and so forth. That's a whole day, pretty much gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we'll take a second. What's your Instagram? Tell me your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We done had you up here over an hour.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Thank you guys for having me on. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys. Nice meeting you. I don't think we've ever met before personally.
Definitely.
Yeah, but we're about to change that.
Yeah.
So you'll be in Daytona?
Yes.
What about you, Will?
Oh yeah, we'll both be in Daytona. Darren, I don't know if he's coming out or not. He's thinking about flying out.
Okay, definitely have to be there. But Paco Miranda Pythons. I'm on Instagram and YouTube. So yep.
So it looks like we got one question.
Yeah, one question from Will. What is better for short term, making visual combo Trojan pods or lace double head clown pods?
What is better for short term?
I would go to lace double head clown pod.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Justin just made that, didn't he? Lace clown pie, and it was nice.
I think he did. Yeah.
He made it lace clown pie. Yeah. Yep. He surely did.
Yeah,
he took it to Tinley.
Yeah, that thing was nice. Personally, I'd go that route. I think I don't have any lace, but I do like it. But I think it definitely has its place in the market for sure.
Now Trojan is untapped because
it is
not sold on it yet, but I've seen it with
me neither. I'm not sold on it at all.
I'm more so
lace definitely.
Yeah.
Lace is that enhancing gene, and I love it in clown and also pie. So I would go with it, especially adding lace in the clown pie project would be perfect.
Oh yeah,
You know,
and then get some other codons in there. You're set.
Yep. So I noticed that you were going with the DG clown, stranger clown, right? You're going that route. Yeah. See, I love that too.
Yeah. So this girl is she's a leopard stranger het pied posset clown. So hopefully, you know, we prove her out for clown. I kind of want to send in the shed just to see, but I kind of want to just wait, you know, and we'll see. But definitely, I'm trying to shoot. So my ultimate like Pompeii for me personally or something, you know, would be like a stranger confusion DG clown pie. You know, I think that'd be pretty nuts.
I really like the confusion.
Oh yeah, I like confusion.
I think that's gonna be an ID nightmare.
Yeah, you're right. Or even without the pied, you know, just a stranger confusion DG clown. I think would be pretty nuts.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate your time. We're going to be down in Daytona. Everyone that's watching, we appreciate your time. You're taking out your day to come watch us, come chop it up. And like I said, we're going to do this every 2 weeks. We'll be back at it again Sunday, 2 weeks from now. You'll see all the promo and cross marketing on IG and Facebook. But Darren, Sloan Morris, Paco Miranda, Pythons, and Flawless Exotic Creations. We are out. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.